today's video I'm going to show you how to use Procreate 5.4, and it has a lot of brushes, and yeah, we'll see what's going on there. So right now you can see my screen, you can see all the new brushes. This new update is, I think I like it better than the other ones because it has more texture, it looks more realistic than it usually is. I should have compared both of them, but they're both similar in some type of way, and it doesn't matter, but it does. As you can see here, I'm creating some kind of design. I really like these watercolor brushes. They do look realistic. I forgot what it was, but I'll actually take a screenshot of it and see if I can find it. If not, then that is fine. I just like creating designs that are unique, and I wanted to make it more abstract this time, not doing those designs, but kind of breaking out of my comfort zone. I was saying that you should pick the right brushes that fit the type of stuff you're drawing. So this one, I didn't really like it at first because it had a weird texture. I tried to stay away from this brush, so I decided to do another brush that I thought was more unique, and it fit this more than the others did. I felt like it had too much texture going on. I feel like it wasn't simple really. So next I was using this brush called, I don't know what brush it is. I'll have to look it up, but I think it's under the inking brush. I'm pretty sure you could find it if you can find the exact one. But maybe it's sort of different than the other ones, but you know, they all are quite similar as they are. Here I'm adding these black lines because why not? And I just love this brush so much. It just adds so much character to it. Some of the brushes are like okay, but this one, I really like it a lot. It kind of reminds me of a marker, kind of, which I think pretty much it is a marker. But, you know, you can add all kinds of stuff just to make it unique. And in any other way, you can just make art just the way you like it. Then I'm gonna add these stuff on it later. I do color them into amazing pattern. I really do think that I just love drawing things that are abstract, something unique, and I'm so used to just doing these designs, but then I do like it, and I think coloring it is more satisfying than actually like outlining it into something amazing. But it does take a lot of time and effort and just putting it all together. Then I'm using the something brush. I think all of these are in the new Procreate library, you can find them. I should leave them below because I don't know, it's hard to find some of the brushes. Oh yeah, you can search the brushes now in the brush library. But I don't know how complicated it is, but it is probably quite simple as you think it is. And yeah, just adding these colors and this brown. I wanted to do something fall related. I should have drew pumpkins or something. I should have done a whole illustration that combined all the unique features in Procreate. This update is mostly for the brushes, not exactly the whole software, which I think is pretty cool because I was so tired of the old brushes. It is something new and a great start to something great, and I really think that I can do so much more stuff with this. I really think I can. Now I'm gonna add all sorts of colors to combine them into something by using the watercolor brush because I like it a lot. I like the texture, and there is the marker brushes. I should have reviewed them too. Oh yeah, I did review them in my Arts and Shorts channel. I'll actually link that down below so you guys can check that out. That has more of the marker brushes. I think I sort of should have combined all of the videos in one, just to give you an overall view of all of the features, but it is pretty new. And also forgot changing the eye. Now I'm adding the Gaussian blur, which makes the effect that it's sort of like in the background. And then I'm using, I think, pastel, or I'm going back using the 3 fingers to go back to library, because I like the studio pen. I don't know if there's a way to drag it from one place to another. I have to find out if I can do that, because I feel like they should have added some of the regular brushes, but this is basically like the old Procreate library that I had all my brushes and stuff. And yeah, I love the new library, and I'm searching for this pattern so then I can add it to the blue part. I should have put the yellow part separate when I colored it, but you know, a long way comes a little. So using a clipping max, and then basically what you can do is you can put a pattern over it, so then it necessarily only does that part that you use a clipping max. It's pretty easy and simple. It's good if you want to add any texture to your drawing, or if you want to add a pattern like me, which I think I should do it more often because I think it's sort of satisfying. But sometimes some patterns don't go well with your drawing, but I do think that there's a lot of potential in all the new brushes, and trying something new, so trying something different than my usual is definitely always the way to go. So now I don't know what I'm doing, but something to do with the pattern. I don't know why it froze there. Is it because I wasn't doing anything? I don't know. I'm trying to see what's happening here, because I don't really see that much movement. So what is your favorite thing about this Procreate update? Make sure to leave it in the comments so I know. So then I'm trying to figure out what in the brush studio is different. I don't know, you guys should tell me, because I should have like compared it from the previous Procreate. Maybe I can go back to one of my old videos. I did figure out how to rotate it, which I think is helpful, but I don't know any of the features in the brush studio. I know they added a few stuff, but I don't know what they are. So please be sure to follow along and see. Maybe I should have another video about the brush. So anyways, I'm going to next go on to a new one, I think, because I'm done with this, and then I'm going to show you a few more other things. Actually, I tried to add these star brushes to it, but I didn't really like it. I don't know, I just don't like adding more stuff to a drawing, because I know it's already perfect just the way it is, even if I do change it a bit. And now I don't know what I'm doing. We'll see what I'm doing next. And you can also add a new library, and I went back to new one, and then there are like different comic brushes. I didn't try it. I don't really do any comics, but this one I decided to use one of those like watercolor brushes, I think, and I used all of them, and I just sort of layered them on top of each other. Each one is a different brush, and I could even do a whole like video based on all the brushes that I saw. There's like too many, I think. I hope that they add more and more brushes each year, because I feel like, I don't know, it's hard to make your own brushes because you don't know how exactly to create your own brushes is sort of hard. But when it comes with the app and they add more stuff to it, then it sort of becomes more special, because then you can do more art, you can expand on different types of art. I think there's like charcoal and then other stuff, which I think is pretty cool. And among other things, I do think that this watercolor brush is probably my favorite one ever. I do think it's pretty different than the other ones. And I like blending all those colors together. I just wanted to see, because each watercolor brush is different and unique in its own way. It might have different texture, it may be bigger or smaller than the other, but I think the last brush I used, that's definitely a good brush for creating landscapes and mountains and stuff. I should have played more around with adding more green or adding more grass to it, but I do think that it is very simple to add a mountain, and I do think that mountains are pretty easy to do, and plus they look good all the time. But I just love everything about it, even if it is quite different than it usually is. I don't know, there's something satisfying about drawing something that it looks good in real life and also feels great. And I added like light colors and dark colors. It's sort of all blended together into a perfect mountain. I mean, it's probably the most simplest thing you can do, but it does really test how good your brush actually is. And I do think that buying the Procreate app is totally worth it. I mean, how many times I've mentioned Procreate, it's like ridiculous. Like, I should already be sponsored by them, but I'm not. But I do think that it's a great app, and I think that it's great, especially for an artist, and helps you go into different skills that you never thought was actually possible. And I do think that I just love it so much. And it is gonna be just a hobby, because it's what I do for fun. And I do think that there's nothing relaxing than going on your iPad drawing something, or going on your sketchbook and drawing something, or painting or crocheting or any of that. And I do think that I love using this app so much, and probably one of the most used apps ever. And I do think that it is worth it. It's worth all your time and effort. So the last thing I wanted to do was figure out about the canvas. I added a new canvas size, and also you can change the background color. I don't know if that's a new thing, but whenever you're creating a new it sort of sets a default background to it, so that whenever you create a new background, you can keep on reusing it every time. And I think it's the same every time you use it. I'll have to check and see, but I think it's pretty much the same thing over and over. And for this one, I thought I would just use like basic lettering, because I love lettering, but I usually use the same brush, the Studio Pen. I don't know, the Studio Pen is hard to add any texture or any shadows and stuff, so it's basically pretty basic, but it does look better than it actually is. I do love it so much, and I just love playing around with brushes and figure out what I can do and what it's capable of. And I do think it's like easier to test the limits, especially with lettering and seeing where it goes. So I added this sort of like dark, like sort of neon blue. I didn't really like it because I thought it was like really weird. And then for the acrylic brushes and the watercolor, you do have to add a bit more pressure to it, because I think that's I think that's usual for everything that you're painting. Like, you're supposed to press harder than you actually are. It's hard to get like sort of like that pigment that you actually want, and it's sort of different every time you use it. Sometimes it could be a little bit too watery, or sometimes it'd be a little too blobby and stuff. So yeah, now I'm going to lettering, and I'm picking this brush. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I tried to do some cursive. Not that great at cursive, but I hope that someday I can be able to do something. And the only thing I can do is my name. So I do like it, but I don't know. I just don't like the blue on blue when you're doing a signature. I think it should be just one color, and I do think that it can be quite different than you're actually used to. And it was in the same layer, so I decided to put it in a different layer. I do my reels once in a while, but I mostly want to focus on tech and doing more tech videos and art. And I should have done more stuff like that, but you know, I do like this video. So this brush is actually a 3D brush, I think. And I don't know how I feel about 3D brushes, but I do like them. I think it was under the calligraphy, I think, the lettering brush. It was the Nightingale. And it is a great brush, but it's like, I think I did make a brush like this a while ago, but it does seem like that kind of brush. I feel like this is very simple as it is. So yeah, I'm gonna outline this amazing lettering thing, and then I think this is almost close to it, and I think I did a pretty good job with this lettering. I didn't add much to it because I really thought that it was better than it was before. I did decide to add this new thing, I think some snow thing. So I'm gonna add sort of like this pattern to it. I'm gonna use the new one. It's called Snowfall, I think. I don't know. I think it's pretty much called that. I basically used a clipping mask and just used the white brush to make it. I think at first I choose like this gradient. I tried all sorts of things to make this look good and tried adding borders to it, and I don't know, I felt like there was already enough. So after maybe this black border does look good. I don't know, maybe add some character to it. I should have actually kept it. I didn't end up keeping it because, I don't know, I thought it was too much work, you know. So I went back and forth into picking the right thing for it. And then I ended up picking like this pattern. I think I'll show that later, but, you know, I wanted it to look good. I wanted it to look like so many other people who had stars and stuff, but mine I thought was pretty simple. But after a lot of trials and tribulations, I finally decided to add. I don't know why I keep on adding more stuff to it, but the more I added, the less I felt like it wasn't good enough, but it was great. But I tried what I could. I tried adding this orange background. I don't know, maybe it was a good idea, maybe it wasn't. But I want to show you that not even my art is perfect. I mean, I go through so much versions of an art before I finalize it. It's not like I see it and like it's done. But then I decided to add this thing at the bottom. I didn't really like any of the stuff I added because I felt like it was too much work. I don't know, I just wanted this to be more simple and figure out that, I don't know, I sort of liked it, sort of didn't. And I sort of had so many errors. I also wanted to show the brushes that they had because, I don't know. So I actually did add the snowy, like, sort of like grid to it. I don't know, I did show it. But yeah, that is today's video. I really enjoyed it and I really hope you did too. Hopefully subscribe and like it. And comment below a heart emoji if you liked it. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.